Hi YouTube, this is my second video about social anxiety. Just kind of a follow up from last week. I had a bad couple of days. I've managed to kind of get over that and slowly getting back to a little bit of normality. Making myself, go out to the shops and go for walks. The weather hasn't been that great, so I've not really been getting out as much as I like. I've been keeping up with appointment for a CPN, and it's the main focus of the appointment. So I spoke to him about last week and how I had a bad couple of days. It kind of felt like it set me back a little bit. But the main focus of that appointment was about exposure therapy, which I'm all for. Because if I hadn't used exposure therapy, I would have became I would have been housebound, completely housebound. Because obviously when my anxiety got really bad, as I'm sure other anxiety sufferers will know, you do get it gets really nerve wracking to leave the house. Sorry, my voice. Yeah, because I used to make myself go out, just stand at the door for 5 minutes a day, and then it would be go to the shop, and then go on 10-minute walks, and then work my way up. Because my therapist was saying like, you can get over anxiety, which I do believe, because I went from being really agoraphobic to being able to going out. But you can get over anxiety, but you do have to do exposure therapy, and it has to be you that it has to come from you. Because I've tried looking for the overnight cures, and it doesn't happen that way. You have to really work at it, which after years I've came to finally realise that's what I have to do, and I've accepted that. But it does get really it is really hard. Because yes, I understand. I'm all pardon me, I'm all for exposure therapy. I, I think it's the best way like, to get over anxiety quicker than just taking a pill or being reliant on pills. So I get, even though I'm all for exposure therapy, it is it is very hard because I get very anxious about leaving, or having to do something, like go to the cinema or sometimes go to the park, see my friends. But if I avoid those situations, then I'm only fueling my anxiety through avoidance, because I'll get it in the head, well, because I avoided that situation, I didn't get anxious, so therefore it's a bad place to go, which isn't the case at all. I should actually be putting myself into that situation, because it's always what ifs that run through people's heads. Well, it does in mine. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And you need to try and stop thinking what ifs. What's going to happen is going to happen, but your body can only stay in a panic state for so long before it starts calming down. Which I came to realise, well, when you're having a panic attack, it can seem never ending and it can be very mentally draining. But for this week and for next, and I've got a lot of appointments, and sometimes I avoid them, but I'm determined to make all my appointments, because I know if I avoid them, it'll just get worse. But if I keep going, even though it makes me feel uncomfortable, if I keep going, I'll get to the point where my body and my brain will just be like, right, okay, well, that's nothing to be scared of. Because that's how I got over walking down to the shops and meeting up with friends. So for my goals next week is to make sure I get up to all my appointments. I've got a few this week. I'm meeting up with a friend tomorrow, going round to her house. Sometimes I avoid it quite a bit, but now I'm just like, no, I can't. I'm fed up avoiding things now. I need to do this, otherwise I'm never going to get over it. And you can get over anxiety. I know people that have gotten over it. It just takes time and hard work. So goals for tomorrow: see my friend. I've got an appointment on Friday. I've got two work kind of programs, things that I have to go to on Monday and Tuesday, which I'm a little bit nervous about. But I think it's just because it's new, So it's hard when you've got anxiety. When you get nervous, it's always 10 times worse. But even a normal, if somebody who doesn't have anxiety is probably bound to be nervous about interviews coming up. The exact same ones I've got. The goal is to get to all of them. I've got an appointment with them, with my CPM. Um, but yeah, so that should be fine. I probably rambled on a bit about this, but if you've got anxiety, I really recommend exposure therapy. Just, I know it's hard, but it's something that you really need to do. Otherwise, we're never actually going to get over our anxiety. Um, and you can. So even if I help one person who's agoraphobic, because I know where you're coming from. But exposure therapy. Next week I'm going to try and go to the cinema. I haven't been to the cinema in 2 years. Um, so there's thoughts. Normally when I get anxious, there's always thoughts of what if this happens, what if that happens. One of my main ones for a while was when I get anxious I can get dizzy and feel like you're going to pass out. It's impossible for somebody with anxiety who's in a panic state to pass out. It can't happen. Because when your body's going through a panic attack, an anxiety attack, your body, well, from what my doctor said, your body just goes into a state of panic, and it's like the fight or flight response. So if you're in that panic, in a panic state, you're not going to pass out because you've got adrenaline going through your body. So, cause that's that used to be one of my fears, but not anymore. I know I'm not going to pass out when I'm in a panic state. It can't happen. People that pass out, it's normally like an avoidance thing anyway. Which I found out from my doctor, it was quite helpful. I'm trying to think what else. No, that's everything for just now I can think of. But yeah, hopefully next week I get to cinema. Even if I find it uncomfortable, I'll just let myself go back until I get it into my head that it's nothing to be feared. I think that's me. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching my video. Any questions or anything, get in touch.